Uh, Good evening, everybody. I'm Pawan Kumar Yadav, and I'm working in the lab of Professor Gitanjali Mishra, and I'm working on ants. And this data is about something very interesting. We have observed how these Camponotus compresses ants, they capture the prey, how they detach it, and is there some sort of individual difference, and if is it consistent or not. These are the ants, you must have seen them. Ants are, there is a lot of diversity, like we have learned earlier that there are around 30,000 species, and they are estimated to be the same number about to be discovered. Now we already know about their social organization. There is a queen, a lot of workers, and I want to talk something about the foraging habit of this particular ant. There are a lot of scouts. They go into the foraging area, they find a food, they lay a pheromonal trail back to the nest, and then a lot of ants emerge from the nest following the same trail, and they go to the prey. These ants have been shown to have some sort of cognition, but the most important point of today is they are ecologically very important because they are predators and sometimes praised too. So we all know the predation, the prey-predator interaction is one of the most important drivers of the evolution. So preys and predators, they both have evolved, and there is a these prey-predator interactions has caused a lot of evolutionary pressure on them, and the animals have evolved in their morphology, their anatomy, their behavior, and whenever there is a prey-predator interaction, there is a theory of optimal foraging, where the the predator needs to conserve energy as well as it needs to capture more and more prey. So in order to do that, the predator employs many strategies, like some predator may save energy by ambush hunting, some predator may do group hunting, and some predator employ this very specific technique where they are very specific at which point of the prey they attack, so that it is easily demobilized. So we wanted to ask whether ants also have such sort of abilities, and are there some sort of individual preferences, and are there persistent individual differences in their this prey fragmentation behavior. And coming to these ants, these are large ants, these are easy to culture, these are easy to maintain in a laboratory, and these are easy to mark, these are easy to follow. So we use these ants, and this is our experimental setup, where there was a small nest arena where these ants were kept. There is a large foraging arena. We gave them some sort of prey in their foraging arena. We recorded their interactions. We used, sorry sir? Sir, it is, it's a box of 18-inch by, sir, it is a box of 18-inch by 12-inch. Okay, sir. So we recorded their behavior. This is how these ants behave. They attack, and we convert this data into which ant is interacting with which part of the body of the prey. And and then we recorded the specific site of attack, and then we recorded specific site of detachment. So here is the result of the site of attack pattern on this Polistis wasp, and most of the attacks were on abdomen, which may seem obvious because it's one of the largest part of the body. But when we observed at the appendages, and we specifically observed at which point of an appendage the ant attacks, we saw that there was a tendency to attack at the base. So this is an average of all the appendage data, and this figure shows where these ants detach their prey, and we can see in more than 81% of the cases the wasp's wing, legs and abdomens were detached. Now what is interesting about their detachment pattern, here also we found that they specifically detach at the base of an appendages, which was interesting because it may be resonated with how a lion attacks a gazelle, where it specifically attaches on the neck. So it might be that these ants are attacking to save energy. So here is the same figure where the frequency of organs are detached, and we see consistently in, of course we didn't find much difference in the antennae, but we find difference in the legs, in the abdomen and in the wings, where these were attached from the base. We next used these Acrida grasshoppers, and the same behavior was more prominent in them, where we can see the wings, legs and abdomens were detached in more than 94% of the cases. Head was specifically also, head detachment was also high in the Acrida. And this is specific detachment pattern of the appendages, and where do they detach. Now we can see here the antennae were also detached from the base, and we can see the same pattern in the leg, in the wings, in the abdomen. Now we also tested, Professor Triganza may not agree with what method I used to check their personality. Ants are seen to have personality. They are seen to show their personality along their shyness and boldness axis, along their exploratory behavior, along their aggression, their sociability. Of course, we didn't check all these axes. We only checked how they interact with the prey. So we can't say it's personality, but we did find some specific pattern where some of the ants interacted with the prey more frequently, and they spend more time with the prey. So through this data we can conclude that there is very specific detachment pattern, although there has been a lot of anthropomorphism in the field of myrmecology. I want to say they show very specific, site-specific butchering, like we see how the butchers cut the meat. And it may be due to their, it may be a part of their strategy to save the energy, because it's obvious if you cut at the base, then there is more probability of the prey to fly away than if you cut it at the base. Sorry, did I say base earlier? Okay, I meant tip. So if you cut at the tip, there is more probability of a prey to fly away than if you cut at the base. And there was inter-individual variability, and it was persistent across 3 experiments which were spread on 10 days. So the earlier data, these 3 dots means these are 3 different encounters of the wasps. So thank you so much, and I would like to thank you, my lab mates, my supervisor, Professor Gitanjali Mishra, Professor Omkar, and the organizing team. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pawan. We have time for some questions. Then. You can start.
You say you get inter-individual variations.
Yes, sir.
How do you explain it? What is the basis of inter-individual variation?
Sir, I explain it as evolution, because if there are many type of individuals, and as a colony can behave better, because the environment is constantly changing, the conditions are constantly changing. So if there is an inter-individual variability in the colony, some may perform in one condition and others may perform in other condition. So,
Suppose you have 2 different colonies
yes.
and the intensity of inter-individual variation significantly varies between 2 colonies. How do you explain it?
So it may be that those with the greater inter-individual variability are better adaptive to any kind of environment.
What is the difference between adaptability and adaptedness?
I'm sorry, sir.
नहीं मालूम. Difference between adaptability and adaptedness.
Can I suggest that we move on to another question and we come back to it? Please find Professor Sekita. Yes.
Hello. Thank you for the nice talk.
Thank you.
The prey provided to the experiment, were they completely alive or somewhat
Yes.
immobilized?
There is a lot to do after this is only a pilot study. We want to study what happens if we give them an active prey versus an inactive prey. We also want to study what is the behavior of different caste of ants. We also want to study the effect of groups. For your question, these ants were anesthetized, cold anesthetized.
Okay, so
Through the course of say 25 minutes, after a couple of minutes they become active and then they are detached.
okay, so I was curious about the type of the prey. Like suppose you are providing wasp or grasshopper. So grasshopper may struggle more during the predation. So if that behavior is affecting the behavior of the ants.
Yes, definitely. In fact, the wasps struggle more, and that's what I want to ask. If their activity is leading to catalysis of these events, these detachment events.
Okay. One
Yeah.
last quick question. Yes. Virginia?
Thank you. This was very interesting.
Thank you so much.
Of course, it's possible that it could be inter-individual differences if they are consistent throughout the entire lifespan, but could it also be that experience provides an ant with a learning ability or recognition ability, so it uses the same strategy?
It will be quite interesting to see.
All right. Great. Yeah. Quick.
Question which was raised about whether it's a dead prey or live prey.
Yes, sir.
If you look in the animal world, the
Yes, sir.
mammals, for example, in mammals, for example, in tigers, what we see routine,
Yes, sir.
and that normally they would first incapacitate the animal because an animal can attack back. So a dead animal and a live animal are very different things. And a live animal, whether the live animal is simply docile or can attack back, So the first strategy of a predator is to incapacitate.
Yes, sir.
Now you see the young ones in tigers when they are trained, the female ultimately stops killing the animal if she has the young ones. And when they are about 14 months or something, she incapacitates the animal. The young ones go and can attack in any place because the animal is already incapacitated.
Yes, sir.
So that's the training process which goes for the young animals. And another thing about individual differences, you don't get misled by these personalities, etc. There's a lot of junk
Yes,
which
sir.
is going on. Inter-individual differences is fine, a term, but there also first rule out any other possibility. It could be age-related.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
the ones which are attacking more could
Yes,
be
sir.
young individuals or older individuals who are more experienced.
Yes, sir.
You have to count out all those things and then say these are personality differences.
Okay, sir.
Because there are lots of other things, factors which can affect behavior.
Yes, sir. And also we have to check the personality along all those axes to confirm it.
Those accesses are category 16 personality.
Yes, sir.
It is that personalities may not be real. So anyway, think about it. Thank you again, Pawan.
Thank you so much, ma'am.